Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to a brand new video. Now it has been a while. Uni deadlines are over and I can finally make a video again. And we're going in to a UFC 232 recap. Now I know it was a week and a half ago now, but I still think it's relevant to talk about and what an event it was. And it was covered with controversy previous or prior to the event, should I say. So I feel like it's important that we talk about it. Now starting off, we go with Megan Anderson versus Cat Zingano. Now this fight was one that was finished and barred many questions. It was finished due to either a head kick or an eye poke, depending on what way you look at it, by Megan Anderson to the eye of Cat Zingano. Now Cat Zingano did turn away, put her back up against the cage and turned away, and that was the end of the fight. The referee called it there, and it was one where the crowd didn't know what was going to happen, and certainly the fighters and the MMA community didn't know what was happening. Now personally, I felt it was a fair move, fair challenge. It's not like it was an eye poke from the fingers where your hands are extended almost. So I feel like if your hands are open and you poke someone in the eye, that's your fault. But with a head kick and the toe goes in the eye, that's an unfortunate event. But I do believe it was a first round finish. Although I must say I would like to see them go at it again and hopefully get a proper 3-round contest in, especially at the 145 division, bearing in mind what happened later in that evening. So yes, many thought that it should be a no contest. Now that is a fair argument with it being an eye poke, but as I said previously, with the way it was done with a head kick rather than an open palmed sort of eye poke, and the referee didn't exactly say to Megan Anderson that it was an illegal move. And it's hard when you're doing a high kick like that, balance, and you're looking to aim at the head. You're not exactly going, I want to poke her in the eye with my toe. If not, you'd probably use your hands. It'd be a lot easier for that. So I think Megan Anderson did get fairly untreated with that, and I hope to see Cat Zingano, who I saw on Ariel Helwani's MMA Hour, is looking in much better shape, and fortunately it wasn't such a serious injury as we first thought. Now when she gets back, I'm hoping them two fight again mid-2019 hopefully. Now yes, moving on to Chad Mendes versus Alex Volkanovski. What a fight, an absolute war. These two 145 pounders, Alex Volkanovski from Australia or New Zealand, he's down in that part of the globe, and boy did he put on a good show. He did get a second round TKO after Chad Mendes got very tired. It was very similar to the Conor McGregor fight that he had a few years ago, where he started off on the front foot. It was a very even fight. He pushed forward a little bit more. They were hitting each other very, very hard, and you always put the big hitters with the heavyweights, but sometimes the speed and the lightness of these smaller guys, especially with the 145 division down to the flyweight division, boy do they have some power in them, and it's brilliant to see the top of their game. And unfortunately Chad Mendes didn't get a result in that one. Now Volkanovski does come up, beating Chad Mendes, who's a top 5 ranked fighter, and it's important to see where he goes. Now Moraes is facing Aldo in a few months. Ortega's unfortunate defeat to Holloway, which was very one-sided, of course. Where does Holloway lead up to next? So Volkanovski has got a plethora of opponents to choose from, really. Jeremy Stephens is up there too, who lost to Aldo. Maybe that's the fight. You give him Jeremy Stephens, or you give him the winner of Aldo Moraes, and we see where we go from there. But Volkanovski does look positive, and he looks like a very good fighter. Now Mendes, of course, part of the Uriah Favors group, and it seems like he puts everything into that first round. He did it against McGregor, as I said, but he also did it in this fight. They hit each other hard, they hurt each other. There were times where Volkanovski was hurt, particularly in the beginning of the second round, I believe it was. He was knocked down, and then from that he recovered and put Mendes away. So yes, I'm very excited to see what the future holds for Volkanovski. And then we move on to the history-making moment of the UFC 232. Cris Cyborg, the greatest featherweight ever. Amanda Nunes, now the greatest bantamweight ever, and possibly the greatest UFC female fighter in history. It was an absolute masterclass in the promotion, even though Amanda Nunes has not been promoted much into, despite all the marketable options that she has, let's say. So yes, there was a lot of hype going into this fight. Cris Cyborg wasn't happy, as she wanted this fight to go earlier on in the year. August, September she was asking for. But Amanda Nunes rightfully so said, I need to put weight on this, I need to prepare for this fight in the according fashion that she did, and oh boy did it pay off. First round KO with a flurry of excellent hooks, left, right. It's knocked her down 3 times before the referee stopped it, and eventually Amanda Nunes claimed her second championship, the first in the featherweight, and became the first ever women's double champ. The second this year. Of course, Daniel Cormier became a double champ earlier on in the year. Now, I'm a big fan of Amanda Nunes, and she's beaten the likes of Ronda Rousey now and Cris Cyborg, 2 of the pinnacle in the women's MMA game. Now, there's only one person I'd like to see her face, whether that's in the 135-pound or 145-pound division. It is Holly Holm. Now, both have finished Amanda. Now, both had beaten Ronda Rousey in the past, and both have faced Cris Cyborg. Obviously, Nunes was victorious and Holly Holm not so much, but both are incredible fighters and probably 2 of the best in the 135-pound division. Now, as I said, it depends on what Nunes wants to do. I don't imagine her relinquishing the 135-pound championship, and if she relinquishes the 145-pound championship, then there's not really a division there. There's no one, there's not even a ranking system yet, so there's no top 10 fighters, there's not even top 5 fighters. Now, Megan Anderson could get that fight, Kat Zingano. You could have the likes of Holly Holm versus Cris Cyborg rematch potentially if Cyborg does come back to the UFC, because she's not under contract there anymore, and there's a big question as to whether she'll fight there again. So yes, we could potentially see a division wiped out, potentially one of 2 divisions wiped out within the next 12 months, which I'll talk about in another video that's coming out this week. So yes, Nunes got the knockout victory. She was very happy, asking Rogan that she'll be in the Hall of Fame, and I do believe in time to come, when her career is done and she does retire, she does become a Hall of Famer, as deservedly so with her credentials and what she's achieved over the past 2 or 3 years in the UFC. And finally, we move on to the main event of the evening, UFC 232, Gustafsson versus Jon Jones 2. Now, this was full of controversy at the start. Jon Jones testing positive, the whole event being moved from Nevada to California, and what would happen there. A lot of people chose Gustafsson's side. In fact, I thought Gustafsson would get the victory on this occasion. I did say it'd be in the 3rd round, but unfortunately I did not get the victorious fighter correct. It was Jon Jones who got it in the 3rd round after a magnificent takedown, and he managed to get the work on. Now, of course, a high-level jiu-jitsu fighter, he managed to change position, got in the crucifix, and got some heavy hits after taking his back, and rightfully the fight was stopped. Gustafsson did look hurt. He'd taken a lot of leg kicks in the previous 2 rounds, which I do believe Jon Jones won both rounds, so he was winning quite comfortably. And it sort of puts into perspective how good Jon Jones is, despite whether he's clean or not. He is levels above the rest of the light heavyweight division, although there is one man currently who could question that, and it is Anthony Lionheart-Smith. Of course, it is rumoured at UFC 235 that those 2 will be squaring up in the Octagon. Now, where does this leave Gustafsson? He's fought Jones twice now and lost both times, and it's almost he's the best of the rest that isn't Jon Jones or Daniel Cormier. So if Jon Jones does move up to heavyweight to fight Daniel Cormier, maybe even Brock Lesnar or anyone in that division, if he moves up that title, if he moves up and that light heavyweight title does become available, it's who has it. Gustafsson's probably the number 1 after that. Maybe Anthony Smith, depending on where and what he does at the 205 division. Maybe even Yoel Romero if he does move up from 185. Or Luke Rockhold, who's also rumoured to be moving up to that division as well. But yes, I think Gustafsson, if he wants to become a world championship, he really needs to hope that Jon Jones is either banned or out of that division for him to be able to win that title, which I do believe he does deserve from the fights and the career he's had at the moment. So yes, that is my UFC 235 review and recap, should we say, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Jon Jones, Amanda Nunes, Cris Cyborg even, I'd like to see what she does, whether she fights in the UFC again, and of course Alexander Gustafsson, and not to mention Volkanovski, who was winner of Fight of the Night alongside Mendes. Drop a like for more Cage Chat. Also follow the new social medias, which are going to be primarily for this. Now follow social medias at CageChatYT down in the description below for more MMA UFC updates. Drop a like, comment, subscribe, and go sting 'em.